Farmers Bank and Trust Company, Community Medical Clinic, McDonald's, First Southern National Bank, Princeton Electric Plant Board, Fredonia Valley Bank, Penny Ryle Electric, Planters Bank, Trice Hughes, Fortner Gas Company, KFC A&W, Princeton Drug Company, Sandra's Gatherings, the Woodall Agency, and the McGregor Group Heating and Air. Stay tuned for news and analysis on Caldwell County Tiger football and a breakdown of last night's game and a look ahead to our next opponent. It's Saturday Morning Quarterback on your hometown radio station, WPKY The Tiger.
Good morning and welcome to the Saturday Morning Quarterback Show. With me in the studio this morning is head coach David Barnes of the Tigers. Last night at Tiger Stadium, the Tigers opened their season playing host to the highly ranked Christian County Colonels. The Colonels defeated the Tigers by a score of 27-10 in a game which was much closer than the final score indicates. I'll be back to begin breaking down the game after these messages from our sponsors.
It's going to be a fantastic weekend at Echo Charlie's at Eddy Creek Marina. Come on down and enjoy a great meal and a fun atmosphere with a fantastic view. Come on down for the eclipse. Some of the best viewing sites on the lake are at Echo Charlie's at Eddy Creek Marina. Echo Charlie's is going to have a breakfast buffet Saturday, Sunday, and Monday mornings. They also have bands all weekend. The Joel Brown Band will perform on Saturday, August 19th, followed by Vintage Station Band on August 20th, and the Justin Reynolds Band on Eclipse Day, Monday, August the 21st. A great dining experience and a relaxed atmosphere with a great view awaits you at Echo Charlie's at Eddy Creek Marina.
Have you or a loved one been discharged from the hospital but not quite recovered enough to go home? Caldwell Medical Center Swing Bed Program is the answer you are looking for. Caldwell Medical Center Swing Bed Program can help patients that are recovering from stroke, joint repair replacement, IV therapy, post-hospitalization pain management, wound or major surgery, acute physical or occupational therapy. Call 270-365-0300 to see if Caldwell Medical Center Swing Bed Program is right for you. Caldwell Medical Center, located 100 Medical Center Drive in Princeton.
Welcome back. The Tigers figured to have their hands full with Christian County's speed and depth last night, and we did, but the Tigers put up an outstanding effort, especially on defense. David, your thought, before we get into breaking down the game, your thoughts on the defensive effort last night?
I thought we had a great effort. Had really good pursuit to the ball, had very few missed tackles for our opening game, and with the speed and skill guys that they had, I thought we did a really good job of shutting them down pretty good. And they got a quarterback that can throw it a little bit, and we broke on the ball. We had some breakups. We probably had 2 or 3 interceptions. Just hit our hands and we dropped it. But we couldn't have asked much more out of our defense last night.
Well, we win the toss last night and defer to the second half. Christian then gets the opening kickoff. They pick up 1 first down, but then they have to punt on their first series of the night. And just looking at it from the press box, David, I felt like that we weren't going to be overmatched with their offensive plays, with our defense playing the way it was in that first drive that Christian had.
And I knew if we could sustain that for the entire game, you come out the first series, you're all pumped and ready to go, but we were able to do that for the entire game. And again, it was our kids were really doing a good job of getting their keys, getting to the football. Where we got to get better and eliminate some things on our punt returns. We can't let that ball bounce around like we did last night on those first 2 punts and give them that field position. That's very critical.
After Christian failed on their first series to move the ball, they punt to the Tigers. The Tigers take over, and we immediately go 3 and out, have to punt. Christian gets the ball, and they go 3 and out. And then once we get the ball back, we return the favor again. At that point, it was a chess match. Who was going to break first? And again, I knew their speed and depth on defense were giving us some problems early on.
Yeah, and we knew going in that they had good skill positions, and they had a really good running back. That kid was, not only could he run, he was a pretty strong kid and got yards after contact. But, we were able to get some stops, and, we gave them good field position on that first touchdown that they got because we didn't pick the punt up.
And Christian begins their touchdown drive, which culminates at the end of the first quarter. It's an 11-play drive and a big key conversion on fourth down when Lange, who I thought really didn't have a sharp game last night, to me only threw 2 effective passes, one on that play where he had to scramble on fourth down, and then the other late in the second quarter when he throws that little high arcing pass to his back that got behind us for a touchdown. But that 11-play drive, key conversion on that was the scramble, and we kept him in the pocket most of the night, and he just got loose and had time to look downfield. 6'6", he found his guy.
Yeah, what they did, the receiver did a good job. He saw his quarterback in trouble, and he came right straight back across the field, got in his vision where he could see him, and they made a good play there on 4th and 10, and that's where we got to get better. We can't be giving up something like that. We hold a team and give them 4th and 10. We got to get a stop.
If we get the stop there, we have decent field position. But after they score, which was a 1-yard run by the quarterback himself, the Tigers get the kickoff and begin an 11-play drive where we go, or excuse me, 9-play drive where we go 71 yards. And on that play, Jameer catching an 11-yard pass from Joey Jaggers. We had several good plays in that drive to get down the field and score and tie this thing up.
That was at that point we got really good tempo. We were getting lined up fast, and we were getting the ball out quick. Our offensive line at that point was doing a pretty good job of blocking, and we were hoping that would carry over into the next series. But on that particular drive, I think Jameer had 4 catches on that particular drive.
We had 5 completions on that drive, and 4 of them were to Jameer, with Jameer getting some really extra yards through his own efforts. We had probably 3 of those catches. He had to bull his way for a few more yards upfield.
Yeah, and that's what we hope out of our receivers is that we get yards after contact, and he does a really good job with that. And on the touchdown that Joby threw on that, he came to his second receiver on that one. He did a really good job picking that up. They brought a guy off the edge, and then it left that kid wide open.
Well, we noticed in the first drives we had, including this touchdown drive, that Joby probably really only had to run a couple times. It looked like he was able to set up, find his primary receiver or his secondary receiver, make the pass, and not have Christian County breathing down his neck. But that would change later on as we got through the game. Either we wore down or they got a little bit better on their defensive side of the ball. But for instance, on this drive, I thought we drove the ball nicely, had some losses on that drive, but we were able to overcome them with the passes from Joby to Jameer. Boyce Nichols added the PAT on the touchdown, and we go into the second quarter, tied 7-7. And Christian County then gets the kickoff, and again our defensive play comes up stellar. We get a 3 and out, strong defensive effort, and Christian County has to punt back to the Tigers. Tigers take over the punt near midfield, and the first play was a tip pass, and it was intercepted, and Christian took it down to the Tiger 44-yard line. I'm not sure whose hands that ball bounced off of.
I'm not so sure it didn't tip off Terrell's arm, and then their kid broke on it and intercepted it. But I do think Terrell it was kind of behind him and hit him in the arm, bounced off of him.
We were looking. I was really looking focused on the quarterback, because even then I think Joby was beginning to get a little bit heat. And not seeing, I just saw the ball go up in the air. I didn't know whose hand it hit. It could have hit a Christian County kid for all I knew, but it looked like it was one of our guys.
Yeah, it hit Terrell.
Tipped it. And the Colonels take over on the 44-yard line, and again, we play stellar defense. And at this particular time in the game, as they were moving downfield with a 3-yard, 4-yard run on most of the plays, I knew our defense kept creeping up into maybe almost 11 men in the box. Was that designed to slow down their rushing game? We didn't think they would pass it at that end of the field, that close to the goal line?
Well, there was one of their offensive linemen was tipping off when it was running past. You could tell how he was lining up. I don't know if our kids were picking up on that or not, but I think Coach McClung probably made an adjustment there on the run game because they were hurting us a little bit with number 24, and he just squeezed the box a little bit on them.
I know when they would run the ball with Lovell being their primary chief ball carrier, we'd hit him once, hit him twice, and we still couldn't get him down. It would take gang tackling to get him down on most of his carries in that first half. So again, I'm not sure in my mind if that's the reason we brought him up. We thought they were just going to 3 yards in a cloud of dust us, so to speak, on that drive, but obviously they picked up on the fact that we had 11 men near the line of scrimmage and broke that back free and just threw a ball with about 25 yards of air under it. And back runs under it, catches it, takes it into the end zone, and they make the conversion. They go up 14-7, and really that was the effort there in the first half, with Christian County going into the locker room 14-7, but the Tigers, knowing they were going to get the kickoff to start the second half, and we'll break down the second half after we return from these messages from our sponsors.
Mobile Deposit is here. This is Mona Van Hooser with First Southern National Bank, and our new mobile app is loaded with extra features, including mobile deposit. Now you can use your smartphone's camera to deposit checks on the go. Just endorse, point, click, and send. Download our new mobile app and try it today. First Southern National Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, honey, you know what would make me so happy right now?
A movie night?
Well, that and...
A candlelit dinner?
Actually, I was thinking we could...
Go for a walk in...
McDonald's! Babe, listen. I want McDonald's. And some fries.
You're the perfect human.
Get more of what matters at McDonald's. Try your favorites on the everyday value menu, like the McDouble Burger for $1.39 or the McChicken Sandwich for $1.19. A la carte only at participating restaurants. Cannot be combined with combo
Here at
meal.
McGregor Group Heating and Air, we are so proud to be a part of this community. We want to thank you for the opportunity to serve you for all of your heating and air needs. McGregor Group Heating and Air specializes in residential, new construction, and light commercial installations, also servicing most makes and models. We offer fast service with polite and friendly staff. We provide our customers with a peace of mind by offering the best warranties in the industry, along with high-quality products. McGregor Group Heating and Air is located at 960 Varmint Trace here in Princeton. Give us a call today at 270-896-5044. We're the company that you can take comfort in.
Welcome back to the Quarterback Show this morning with Coach Barnes. David, now we're at halftime. We're down 14-7. You get the guys in at halftime. What do you say to them, and what adjustments maybe, or were we trying to make at halftime to thwart what Christian County was doing to us, offensively and defensively?
Well, one, we made the point that we were 14-7 at half, and that we were getting the ball coming back in the second half, and that was a positive. We were running a play where our up front guys weren't really stepping where they were should be stepping, and they were getting penetration in the gap and killing us on one of our run plays, so we had to make an adjustment on that. Defensively, we didn't adjust a whole lot of stuff. Defensively, we were playing pretty well, but offensively, there were some things on scheme on the offensive side of the line.
When you went in, and were you obviously were concerned about their speed and quickness all night long? We had several 3-and-outs. Were we trying to kind of shake up the offense by not going past every time, but trying to gash them a little bit with the run game?
Well, the first half they did a really good job of taking away our outside screens on how they were playing that, which we had to make an adjustment on that. And the big thing was our offensive line after that series where we went down and scored it. It's kind of like they did in practice. Some, they kind of went in a lull there where they weren't playing as hard as they were playing earlier in the game, and we had to get on a little bit about. You got to finish, and I think that we did a better job of that.
Looking at the offensive line, I know we broke in 5 new starters last night. Before we move on into the second half, who in your mind came through the game with pretty good marks, if not all 5 of them?
Well, I haven't had a really good chance to look at the film yet, but just watching the game. Luke Stallings went down early in the game. He got hit on the side of his knee, and he came back and finished the game. So I thought he played pretty well. The first time out against a very good defensive line, I thought we did for the most part, except in that second quarter. For whatever reason, we had that little lull after we scored, but we're going to get better at that point. We had 5 guys on their first start against Christian County, and we're going to get better each and every day.
Well, we know with those 5 kids being out there and having had the scrimmage the week before against obviously a team not as good as Christian County, that we didn't see really red dog blitzes where a Christian County defender came untouched. Back to the quarterback, we were able to keep them out. I know that we maybe had one or two snaps that we wish we could have had over, but the center, I thought John Kelly Hughes did a reasonable job of getting the ball back to Joby, and except one play we'll talk about here later on in this segment. But the Tigers received the second half kickoff, and we go 3 and out and punt. The Colonels can't move, and they punt. The Tigers again can't get anything done, and we punt back to Christian County. Get a cat and mouse game going on here, and the Tigers take possession at our 25-yard line and try to move the ball in on the third play. Disaster, misfortune strikes, and I'd like for you to kind of break that play down. I'm not sure whether the ball hit Joby's hands, bounced off Dylan Gray, or went directly back and hit Dylan. I was looking down at my papers at that time and looked up and saw the ball bouncing around on the ground.
I think the ball was snapped. It may have been just a little bit high, and it hit Joby in the hands. He dropped it. Dylan tried to pick it up. About the time Dylan tried to pick it up, the kid from Christian County came in and got on the ball, picked it up, and ran in for a touchdown.
And obviously, Christian County scores on that fumble return, convert the extra point, and at this time in the third quarter, they go up and take a 21-7 lead over the Tigers. But the Tigers, to their credit, did not give up. We received the kickoff, and we go down the field and began an 18-play drive that we couldn't get it in the end zone, but we did end up with a 32-yard field goal by Boyce Nichols, and several interesting plays on that drive. One, the key that got us up and running was the Ben Holt catch over the center, wide open. Yeah, it was amazing to me how some of our guys could get so wide open. Then at other times it looked like they had 3 guys on every receiver we sent out. It's always a mystery to me how that works. But Ben went into the center, over the center, into the crease, and he didn't have anybody within 5 yards of that ball was completed.
Yeah, their safety, we had 3 receivers side on that, and their safety, he went with our inside receiver, which opened up that lane for Ben, and that's kind of the way that play is designed, and that's why we had it worked. And Ben did a good job on sticking his route and staying where he's supposed to be on his landmark.
And going over the center as a sophomore, to be able to catch the ball and not hear footsteps and hang on to it, I mean, it was a solid catch. And to Ben's credit, we pick up 20-plus yards on that play. And also in that drive, we have Jameer making 3 more catches. Again, some tough catches and some tough yards after the catch by him.
And that's why he played last week in the scrimmage, and that's what we expect out of him.
Again, we can't get it in the end zone, and we end up with a 32-yard field goal from Boyce Nichols, which is another gun in our arsenal, so to speak, where we have that ability to get inside the other team's 20-yard line and still with a chance to come back with some points.
Yeah, that was, we had a 4th down situation there, and it went for the field goal. It was like late in the third quarter, I think, or right before the fourth quarter.
Right, it was right at the end of the third.
And and then to get 3 points on the board, and it's what we thought we needed to do. And plus, at this point in the season, we want to see how what kind of leg Boyce has got and how accurate he's going to be.
And I thought, well, we come away with points. We have momentum. Actually, that touchdown came in the fourth quarter with 9 minutes and 13 seconds to go. We run off about 6 minutes on this particular drive. With us making the field goal, we are down 21-10 at this point, and then on the kickoff, we have disaster strike on the kickoff when Christian County's, according to the Channel 6 News last night, their second player in their top 10 here in this area was Corey Trice. Their top player was Colby Lange, who really, to all intents and purposes, did not impress me last night. But Corey Trice was a different story. He was tough on defense, and he takes his kickoff at the 2-yard line, 3-yard line, goes to his right, cuts the corner. And when he cut the corner, from my point in the press box, he was gone. He was our left side kickoff return coverage broke down, and he was eating up strides seemingly 3 and 4 yards at a time.
Yeah, Boyce had put the first 2 kickoffs in the end zone, and 3 more yards there. He'd had that one in the end zone. He wouldn't have got the return, but going into your first game, I always, ever since I've been coaching, Coach Wilson, Coach Barter sitting here with me, friends of mine out from Owensboro, your biggest concerns are your special teams because you sometimes maybe don't work those as much as going in that first game. And if you look at last night's game, special teams kind of hurt us, on a 2 punts that we didn't catch, and then on the kickoff, they got returned for a touchdown.
Well, as you just mentioned, our kickoff, first kickoff boomed into the end zone 5-6 yards deep. The second one was back on the goal line and squirted off the receiver's hand into the end zone. And I think you can get a little bit complacent if you're on the kickoff coverage, thinking that may be the case again. And I think that pursuit to the football takes over sometimes, and our outside coverage goes in for the kill. And if you get outside coverage, it's going to be a pretty good return for the other side, which in this case it was. But
especially with an athlete like that bringing it back.
Exactly. He impressed me, and as we're talking about him, he is a commit to Purdue to play football there. So major college kid. We were talking before we came on the air this morning. He looks like he could play about 3 or 4 different positions on the football field. But Christian County, with their plethora of players, they obviously have speed, quickness, depth, but the kickoff is brought back. The PAT no good, and the Colonels go up 26 to 10 on that play, and essentially the ball game is over back and forth. We do end up stopping them on about a 10-play drive where they kept the ball on the ground trying to run out the clock, especially the play clock and the game clock. And we'll talk over some stats when we come back after these messages from our sponsors.
The dog days of summer have arrived, but at Fredonia Valley Bank, the weather does not slow us down. We are continually finding ways to make your banking easy and accessible through mobile banking, internet banking, phone transfers, and even more. So yes, you can beat the heat with the touch of your fingertips. We love seeing our customers, but when it's this hot out, you may find modern technology the way to take care of your finances and free up your valuable time. Come by today and let Fredonia Valley Bank introduce you to some of our new banking products and let us show you how your money can work for you. Fredonia Valley Bank, 602 Cassidy Avenue in Fredonia and 226 Commerce Street in Edible. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Here's a reminder from your Princeton Electric Plant Board. Meter tampering is dangerous. Tampering with an electric meter is not only dangerous, it is dishonest and against the law. Stealing electricity by tampering with an electric meter may result in your arrest and can even risk your life. Tampering with meters results in increased utility bills that everyone has to pay. If you see anyone tampering with an electric meter, call the Princeton Electric Plant Board right away at 270-365-2031. Princeton Electric Plant Board, Princeton's #1 energy source.
Penny Ryle Electric has been serving the electric power needs of the Penny Ryle area since 1937. Always member-owned and dedicated to providing the best electric service at the lowest possible rates. Whether you live in the city or in a rural area, Penny Ryle Electric is committed to providing all members with the finest technology and service. Penny Ryle Electric, a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, dedicated to working towards progress and better living for the people of the Penny Ryle.
You can always expect great things at Planters Bank. When we say expect great things, what we're really saying is Planters Bank is here to provide the financial services you need. Planters Bank believes in the strength of our community and is a full-service financial institution. Our employees have a true passion for helping our neighbors, and it shows. See Jake Pepper and the rest of the Planters Bank staff at 208 North Jefferson. Planters Bank, member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
And welcome back to this final segment of the Saturday Morning Quarterback Club. Dave, at this time, we kind of want to go over and review some of the stats we had last night on the offensive side. A good night for Joby stats-wise, 17 completions out of 26 attempts with 1 interception, throwing for 146 yards, and usually when you're mauled by the defensive front line and their rush and their linebacker blitzes, you don't have over a 50% completion rate, but he got the ball off quickly. 17 for 26, pretty good night for the young man in his first varsity start against a quality opponent.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I think in the second half he may have got a little rattled on the pressure he was getting from the outside. But, he'll see that on film, and we'll work with him on staying in the pocket a little bit better and things he can do to defeat that defender.
Jameer, big night for him last night. 8 catches for 80 yards. Dylan Gray, 4 catches for 18 yards. Dylan, an all-around game last night, receiving, rushing. And on defense, Trail Riley with 2 catches for 9 yards. Ben Holt, his 1 catch for 26 yards. Oliver Parker, 1 catch for 9 yards. And Travis Newsom, 1 catch for 7 yards. And those kids on the outside really got bottled up all night long, and Joby just could not get them the ball.
Yeah, they did. Their corners did a good job of taking some things away from us, which opened up some things for Jameer on the inside.
And on the rushing side of things, the Tigers with a net rushing yards of 9. Dylan Gray, 12 carries for 28 yards. Caleb Burton, 2 carries for 19 yards. Jameer, 4 carries for -1 yard. Trail, 2 carries for -10, and our reverses didn't fool anybody last night.
Jameer went the wrong way. He went in front of our guy instead of behind him, which I think if he would come behind him, it would have opened up. But he just kind of took the wrong step.
Again, film will point that out and get that corrected. And Joby, 7 rushes for a -26 yards. A couple of those, a big part of those yards on basically 2 breakdowns by the offensive line where Joby had to eat the ball. But on the defensive side of the ball last night, the Tigers, a big effort. Christian County, 149 yards rushing on 42 carries, 3+ yards a carry. A couple 5, 8, 9, 10-yard gains on those plays. So all night long, we were shutting them down on the rushing game. Lange, 7 out of 14 for 47 yards. And 2 passes amounting to his 25-yard touchdown pass and his 13-yard pass completion on the broken play early in the first quarter, which led to the first down, which led to their first score. 25 yards and 13 yards make up 38 of his 47 yards. So all night long, we knocked down, probably had our hands on 2 balls that we could have held on to, but we were knocking balls down. He was throwing behind his receivers, throwing over the receiver's head. Not a very polished effort, I thought, by his performance last night.
Yeah, I know Jameer had one that he had in the end zone. I think he got his hands on, and Trail got one. And Hunter ended up knocking down 2 balls or stripping 2 balls out on the pass.
Hunter had 1 strip, and then the other hands, he got both hands on the other ball, which a little bit behind him, he just couldn't hang on. But again, when we look at the tackle effort, last night we had Hunter, again, leading the way. Hunter Van Hoosier with 15. Will Bashir, a solid night with 10 hits and two sacks from Will. Cole Baker, 9 hits, tackles with 2 sacks. Caleb Burden, 6 tackles. Gabe East, 6 tackles. I thought Gabe was all over the field in the secondary, playing center field. Really an outstanding effort on his part. Dylan Gray coming back on defense, his linebacker position, with 6 tackles. And then another kid, as we noticed throughout the game, Noah McGowan, a freshman, coming in with 3 tackles and making a couple individual hits in the game. With good-sized kid.
Yeah, he's going to be a good player for us. He's real raw right now. Haven't played a lot of football, but he's going to be a good one for us.
We noticed several players getting on Christian County's first drive. We had a couple kids break through the line and nail Christian County ball carrier in the backfield, and secondary play was strong on our part. Fumble recoveries by Mitchell Harrelson, and I'm not sure what the Vickery kid's first name is. Michael Vickery. So we were somewhat opportunistic. They had 2 turnovers. Our turnovers killed us. But freshmen and sophomore, several of them saw action last night, so that's a positive sign against a good quality ranked team, as Christian County is. So we're building depth, and we got some kids were baptized last night, so to speak.
Yeah, especially our offensive line.
Well, and as we went into after the game, I'm sure obviously the coaches talked to their players, and that experience by the 5 offensive new linemen last night, I'm sure they're thinking about that as we speak. I'm sure they're maybe listening to the radio broadcast, but they can only get better.
They're at school watching film, I hope.
Okay, well, so that we hope they're watching the film. But again, opening against a tough team, we could have gotten in one of those games like I saw one score last night, like 58 to 54 or something like that, which you don't prove anything in that situation, only that nobody has a defense. And
we had one of those down at Christian Camp about 3 years ago.
Well, and nobody had any defense that night. But all in all, when you look back on it, 4 key plays really did the Tigers in. The defense only giving up 2 touchdowns, the kickoff return, the little pass, 25-yard pass, the fumble return. So again, the defense acquitted themselves real well, and I thought we overall as a team played well last night. Nothing to hang our heads over.
Well, you know, the thing is that we got to build on what we did last night and watch that film today and come back on Tuesday and get better as a football team and take care of some of those mistakes that we made. You know, if you look back, and I've always said this, you got to play good competition to be ready to play in your district, and that's what this whole thing's about. And, you know, we don't play a district game till week 6, and you know, we got Graves County coming up, and then we got Hoptown and Crittenden County and Henderson in our non-district schedule, which is going to prepare us for those district games, and you know, that's what we're pointing everything toward.
Well, as you mentioned, we can't go backward. We have to go forward after last night's performance, and I think knowing the kids that we do and the fact that they practice well, I'm sure we'll get that effort out of them. Injuries, I know when you mentioned the first series of play, our guard goes out. We come through the game pretty well, except for some 3 or 4 cramps late in the game.
Yeah, we had, I think, a couple of cramps, and Will Bashir had a hand swollen up a little bit, but he's okay. Dylan Gray got hit in the hip, and he was all right. So, you know, after the game, everybody got checked out and was in pretty good shape.
Good. Next week, our opponent is Graves County, and they came away with a big win over Murray last night, and also Hopkinsville opened their season on the road, or I guess, I'm not sure whether they were in Hopkinsville or at South Warren, but they go down to defeat last night, losing their opening game. Another surprising game to me was Fort Campbell's win over Marshall County.
Yeah, that surprised me also.
I'm not sure how strong Marshall is this year, but Fort Campbell last year, as I remember, only about 4 or 5 players that they could put on the field of our caliber type players, if you will. So apparently they've had some transfers, maybe in, or maybe Marshall's just not that good.
I know they got a new coach. Out of Clarksville. I don't know if that may have had something to do with it or not, but that score did surprise me.
As I mentioned, next week we play host here to Graves County. Graves coming in, saw some of those highlights last night on Channel 6, and they had 2 or 3 big plays, big pass plays on that, and I got to thinking, I'm sure our corners could maybe take those big plays away, so it's going to be a good game. They put up 40 points last night on Murray, so we want to invite our listeners to tune in to us next Friday night at 6 o'clock. You'll hear the Coach Barnes pregame show. At 6:30 we'll be live on the air with the game coming up at 7 o'clock, Caldwell County versus Graves County. And any final comments, David?
I'm proud of our kids last night. You know, we never did quit. We fought to the very end, and you know, defensively, that's as well as we've played in a long time. And you know, we're going to get better as a football team. And you know, we got to work around some things this week with the eclipse, and we can't practice on Sunday. We can't practice on Monday, so we won't be back with our kids till Tuesday. That's why we're bringing them in today. This morning we'll watch the film to get that out of the way, so we can have Tuesday to get ready to go.
And give them an extra 2 or 3 days to get their bruises and feeling better and back to game shape. So appreciate your visit into the studio this morning, and that's going to wrap it up for this weekly version of the Quarterback Show. And stay tuned for the football game coming up this coming Friday night with Graves County. So long. And on this eclipse weekend, please drive carefully, stay safe.
Fortner Gas Company is a full-service local and family-owned propane company offering services in Princeton, Cadiz, Madisonville, and Murray. Right now, Fortner Gas is offering specials on propane. Fortner Gas offers Holland and Napoleon grills, Dixie choppers, and they also have Red Max weed eaters. Contact Fortner Gas Company today for all of your residential, commercial, and agriculture propane needs. Fortner Gas Company, a family tradition of service since 1951.
Colonel Sanders from KFC here to talk about the good old days. Well, the good old days are still here in chicken form. Specifically, in KFC's original recipe fried chicken with 11 herbs and spices. Our delicious chicken is still hand-breaded and pressure-fried just like it was then. Get your fill with 2 pieces of my original recipe in a $5 fill-up with mashed potatoes, a biscuit, a cookie, and a drink at a KFC near you. KFC, it's still finger-licking good. At participating KFCs, prices may vary. Tax extra.
You've been listening to Saturday Morning Quarterback on your hometown radio station, WPKY The Tiger. Saturday Morning Quarterback brought to you by Echo Charlie's, Caldwell Medical Center, Farmers Bank and Trust Company, Community Medical Clinic, McDonald's, First Southern National Bank, Princeton Electric Plant Board, Fredonia Valley Bank, Penny Ryle Electric, Planters Bank, Trice Hughes, Fortner Gas Company, KFC A&W, Princeton Drug Company, Sandra's Gatherings, the Woodall Agency, and the McGregor Group Heating and Air. Tune in next Saturday for another edition of this Saturday Morning Quarterback on your hometown radio station, WPKY The Tiger.
Some of y'all never been down south too much. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this so that you understand what I'm talking about. Down there we have a plant that grows out in the woods and the fields. Looks something like a turnip green. Everybody calls it poke salad. Poke salad. Used to know a girl lived down there and she'd go out in the evenings and pick her a mess of it, carry it home and cook it for supper.